What's up, everybody? We're back. I'm George Mossey. I'm here with my co-host, Heather C. Unexpected, Season 5, Episode 6. This is Part 2. We are back, and we are talking about Induction Day for Emerson and Mason. Well, more so Emerson, but Mason is there. He's part of her two-person support team, which her grandmother and Mason are there in the hospital with her. Her mom, Erica, is at home, literally worried sick, worried about the situation, but she literally just had a baby and cannot be there. So we're watching them FaceTime each other and try to keep everyone in the loop of what's going on. And Erica just feels like her daughter doesn't know what she's getting into. And I kind of feel like that might be a good thing because I was thinking when I was watching this episode, I was like, women are so much stronger than men. And I'm not talking about a physical strength. I'm talking about like a mental strength because I get freaked out when I need to give blood or draw blood. So imagine if a woman was as weak as me, in the mental state to go into the hospital knowing what's going to happen, this labor in itself and this pain. So I feel like maybe it's a good thing she doesn't realize how bad the situation is going to be because watching this show, we've heard all the moms say it's the worst pain that they've ever envisioned. They could never put it to words or describe it. It's just the most terrible thing that they've ever been through. So I feel like this might be good that Emerson doesn't know what she's getting into because she might have freaked out and chickened out and not wanting to get in the car.
Yeah. I'm glad that she still has her mom there for support, even though her mom couldn't come. And we saw the debut of Sale. He made
Yes.
his debut. It's our first time seeing him on film. And it's nice that she has such loving support from her family. I mean, her mom has a little one, so it makes sense for her to stay home. But with modern day technology, we FaceTime and all this good stuff, and it's like you're actually there with the person, which is great. But she's got her grandma and Mason, like you said, so hopefully they could be there to pull her through. It's a scary, scary thing, bringing a child into the world, and at least she's not alone doing it, so that's good.
Absolutely. She has a good support team, and Mason doesn't know what to expect, and neither does she, but obviously her grandmother knows what to expect. And I think the support is there, and they're going to get through this. We're rooting for you guys. At the end of the tunnel, there's going to be an adorable baby in your arms, and they have their birth planned and they know what they're going to do. So I can't wait to see how this takes place. It'll be their first birth so far this season, right? So that's pretty exciting. So let's talk about Jenna and Aiden, right? So it's Father's Day weekend, and Jenna plans a Father's Day trip to Pittsburgh to the zoo, which looked pretty cool. I want to go to the zoo now. And it was actually a family bonding experience because we've learned that Aiden is not a very talkative guy, right? He's a super good father. He's a great provider, but they don't have like conversations anymore. Him and Jenna were best friends. They did everything together. They talked on the phone. They were together all the time. And she feels like everything is different now. Aiden actually disagrees. He feels like nothing is different. Everything is the same. And I think that this comes with responsibility. When you take on more responsibility, like when you're a teenager, you don't have to work, you have more time, you have more energy, you have the mental stamina to do more. I think with him being employed and having the responsibilities, it's made him less of who he is and more of a provider. And it's really taken a toll on Jenna because she feels like she's kind of alone in her home with two people. She's alone. She doesn't have anywhere to go, anywhere to talk to, and she wants him to open up. And one thing we've learned watching this season, Aiden isn't an open up kind of guy. You're going to get a one line answer, and you don't even really see emotion or hear emotion when he talks. So, what do you think is going to happen? Because from what we've seen on tonight's episode, there's not really any giving from Aiden. He's not really willing to change anything.
Well, I think that Jenna is absolutely correct. I mean, I think that there is change in their relationship. People always tell you that when you have kids, they're going to change you, whether it's for the better or for the worse. They definitely are going to mature you. I mean, in actuality, they're two teenagers, but the child that they share together makes them into this adult world that they brought themselves into. I mean, when they were dating and they were besties, they didn't have bills to pay. They didn't have to worry about anything other than going to bed, do your homework, who's going to prom with who. Now they have to say who's taking the child to the doctors, and who's going to pay the car note this month, who's going to make rent. So it's like, of course, he's changing, because instead of just worried about school and maybe any sports or hanging out with his friends, he's got to worry about making rent. So, you know, he's tired. And, you know, even though he's young and stuff, he took on such adult responsibilities. And Jenna, you know, she is matured because, you know, her body changed. You know, she brought a child into this world, and she's alone. She feels lonely because other than her one good friend, you know, most kids don't understand. You know, they don't want to get wrapped up in that. It's all fun and games until the baby's there, you know? So, yeah, I mean, she's absolutely correct. He has changed, and it's sad because it looks like they're drifting apart. Um, but, you know, they say children are a make or break situation. Only the strong will survive. So, you know, even if this is a situation where they have to cool down and take a break, if it's meant to be, they'll come back. It might be for the best. They're in two different phases right now.
Let's talk about something that Aiden said last night. He said that they don't sleep in the same bed because Jenna won't put Luca in his crib. And this is a really hot button issue with couples. It doesn't really matter how old you are. Couples, men feel like the children should always be in the crib or in another place. And the mom wants their baby with them because this is the human life that they brought into the world, and they don't want them anywhere far away where they can't get to them. So I want to get your take. So how do you feel? Like, I'm Team Aiden when it comes to that intimacy between a couple. You need to have that. And if there's a baby in the bed or a child in the bed with you, sometimes or all the time, it can't be done. So where do you stand on this issue?
Oh, this is a lot like the Lily Lawrence situation. Well, I think that with moms, it's more popular than the dads, because even though the dads share a bond with their children, they don't have that bond from them coming out of their body.
Right.
So I think as like a mom, you know, they're like, okay, this child was inside of me for 9 months, and now they're here. So I'm the ultimate protector. You know, I need to be able to get up and feed them. I need to be able to change them, or, you know, whatever. And I think just out of a course of habit, time flies when you're having fun. Before you know it, here's a child, 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, 3 years. And it's like, you don't, it becomes so natural and so normal for the mom. They don't look at it. But then the mom, they also get mad because they're like, oh, my man's not there for me. Not realizing that maybe her idea got out of control. So it's not so much that I have an opinion on it, because everybody is their own person and what works for them. It's more so an understanding. I kind of get where they're coming from, because like I said, as a mom, you're just like, this is my baby. Like, okay, I'm going to go to sleep. You're going to go to sleep. And it's like, maybe the mom can't sleep good thinking that maybe their kid's awake. And if they're with them, they know, okay, I'm sleeping, you're sleeping. Because what if they get up? What if they're roaming the house? What if they get into something? You know, like, how can you get a good night's sleep if you're constantly worrying?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. No set opinion, but I do see where they're coming from.
Yeah, I think that you're right. It's more of I need to know where they are and if they're okay. And I think I said this the other time on the other podcast, mothers never get a day off. They're always worrying. Even when their child is asleep, when it's awake, when it's at school, mothers don't get a day off. They're always worrying and thinking about what's going on with that child and keeping it safe. Fathers do sometimes go to work and forget about their families and forget about their problems. And then when they come back home and they walk through the door, that's when they clock back in.
Because they know the woman's got it. That's why. They know the woman's got it. It's not so much that they don't care. So we got to put that out there so the men don't come for you. It's not that they don't care. It's that they know that they can go and do what they need to do, and the woman has got it.
That's true. And guys, you got to return the favor. When you get home, you need to give the moms a break. Like Lily said last on the episode today, she said, I can't be a maid and I can't take care of everyone in the house. I just moved in. Got to give moms a break. Moms also need to clock out. All right, guys, on that note, that's it for part 2. Next week, we will come back and talk about the couples. There's a lot going on. We're going to see a baby born next week. Super exciting. And we're going to hopefully see things with Jenna and Aiden go in a positive direction, hopefully. And Colin and Jason will be back. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm George Mossey. This is my co-host, Heather C. We will be live tweeting the show every Sunday night. Join us, and we will talk to you guys really soon.